We're really lucky to have with us today Steve Sarin, who does communications and public relations for an organization that helps people with substance abuse. And Steve, if you would please just share a little bit about what your day-to-day looks like and what you like about your job.
Yeah, sure. Backing up just a little bit, I when I was in school, I did 3 internships. I just want to emphasize how important those internships are to getting a job outside of an educational environment. It's gonna be hard work. Your first 2 probably will be unpaid, but those absolutely set me up to get hired right out of school. My last internship at the PR agency actually hired me right away, and I had a contract signed. Literally, I was leaving my last class when I got the offer in an email. So I can't emphasize doing internships enough. I started at the PR firm. It was business-to-business technology. It was fast-paced, and I did not like agency life. Everything's a fire drill. It's so fast-paced. I can work fast-paced, but it was just not for me. Some agencies, some people love them. If you guys have had, I know she's not there anymore, Michelle Baum's class, she loves agencies. I definitely side with Steve that in-house is definitely a bit more my style. But I was there for, if you include the internship, 1.5 years, and I didn't really care about our clients. There were tech clients. And, I started thinking long term, if I look back, on my deathbed, am I going to be really happy that I got some tech company in Forbes? Yeah, that's cool. But like, did I really make a difference anywhere? So I took a couple coffee meetings. I'm a sober guy in recovery myself, with some people I knew in the industry, and just sent them a really honest email. Hey, this is what I know how to do. Would I even fit anywhere in the treatment space? And literally the first person I talked to knew someone who was looking for someone kind of like me. And then COVID went full blast, so they were on a hiring freeze. But within 2 months, I was persistent. I emailed about every 10 days, hey, just checking in, let me know if I can help out any way, pro bono stuff, if you have any things that, PR wise. She didn't, but, 2 months later, I had an offer and started doing, something that was a little closer to my heart than getting managed service provider tech platforms, media coverage. I've been with them since then. It's really marketing heavy. I know how to do PR. That's what we did at the agency. We had a digital marketing team. I knew what they did for our clients at a high level. I had no idea how they did what they did. Didn't know a thing about digital marketing. And my current boss took a chance on me. She calls me a doer. She's like, I think I can teach you and groom you to do things how I want you to do things in the marketing space. So she took me under her wing, and I've been working with her directly. It's just us on the marketing team for 1.5 years. I still do PR. My quarterly goal is to get 3 pieces of media coverage, and I've exceeded that every single quarter in the past 1.5 years. We don't have a ton of newsworthy things to talk about, and there's only so many reporters in Colorado that cover the addiction space, so it's kind of a limited pool to reach out to. I only reach out when I know I've got something that would be of interest to them. You definitely don't want to burn those bridges and pollute their inboxes. But day to day, I'm kind of the jack of all trades here. I've learned the digital marketing space. We have some email marketing campaigns that we do. So if someone visits our website, we have these quizzes. They're kind of clickbaity, to be honest. Do I have a problem with substance abuse? And then their email address gets captured. It goes to a platform, and I've created 3 emails that go out to them after our admissions team has done 7 days worth of touch points to see where they are, to see if they need help. After that, an email will go out to them at different intervals, and we get admits that way. Honestly, it's kind of half-assed. We're looking to build that out a bit in the new year. Next year, I'm going to create some useful content. Hey, I have a family member struggling with addiction, what should I do, and gate that content. So useful information, but you have to enter in your email address to get it. So we can capture those and kind of build out some better, more effective drip email campaigns. That's one thing that we do. I also sort of oversee our Google Ads campaign, pay-per-click, PPC for short. So we run targeted ads in Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, and Denver, where we have our 3 treatment centers. Usually about a 10-mile radius in Denver and Colorado Springs. It's a bit larger in Fort Collins because people are spread out a bit more up there. People are willing to travel from Greeley, Loveland to get help, not so much in Denver where there are more options for treatment. My boss handles the copywriting for all that. I just am slowly learning what she does just to be aware of it. I'm not going to take over at any point, but as I move up through the organization, if I'm gonna oversee someone who eventually does that, I'm gonna need to know how it operates. So I do that as well. I just left before this a meeting with the guys at Comcast. They have an OTT. If you guys don't know, it's over the top advertising. So it's streaming. So video ads on streaming. So if you were to watch your Peacock, your obviously not Netflix, but AMC Plus, there's a million out there. If you were to watch one of those, I was talking to him about how I can get these ads of varying lengths in front of our ideal client profile. It's crazy how much data these people have on all of us, but I can target an ad based on if you have health insurance, what age you're in, what you're searching for on Google, the Facebook groups you're a part in. All this data on us is out there. And, people always joke around about their phone listening to them. And, they'll see an ad, 20 minutes later after they talked about something. It's even scarier than that. Their AI algorithms, predictive analytics is a big thing. And they can actually predict what you're going to be interested in. So that your phone's not listening to you. They're just that good at figuring out your interests. So I was talking to him about, what would a campaign look like? I'm coming up with a wish list of marketing things if I had no budget constraints. My boss asked me to put together, and that would be one of them. We recently went in network with a lot of big name insurance providers in the past 6 months. So that opens up a lot of doors for us to reach a lot more people. It's a lot cheaper for them to get care with us. So we can focus a little bit more on brand awareness, that upper funnel marketing. Obviously still the lower funnel stuff, but being accessible to more people, we can start that upper funnel brand awareness campaigns. What else? I'm overseeing a total overhaul of our internal communications. Since COVID happened, we have Teams, we have a SharePoint, we have email, and it's kind of the Wild West. Everything gets sent in various different places. There are no systems, procedures, policies for what should be communicated through each channel. So I met with everybody in the organization and asked them about how they communicate, how they'd like to communicate, which channels do they use, which do they like. So I'm about halfway through a plan to roll out for the whole company, establishing procedures, what belongs on Teams, what belongs on email, how to save things to their OneDrive so everything's not just saved to everyone's desktop and someone leaves and we have to dig it off a computer, getting everything into one place, and just kind of making sure we're all on the same page. That's actually been a really fun project to do. I like, finding problems and fixing them. Like my boss said, I'm a doer. I don't want to be in the high level, philosophy meetings. What's our philosophy? What's our mission, vision? I'm not interested in any of that. Just give me a task and I want to do it and fix it. So that's a really fun project. What else do I do? Social media. I do organic social media. We do some paid ads. I sort of know how that works. Like I've gone in there and played with it. My boss and I have a disagreement about whether that's going to be effective or not, given our space in the, I mean, we're a rehab. Like, I don't know if people, like, I'm going to convince her wrong that it's not an effective strategy, but we'll probably spend a couple grand before I have some data to back that up. We're also considering a podcast. So I've been doing all kinds of research about how does one start a podcast? How do you get that loaded into iTunes and to Spotify? How does that work? What sort of technology do I need? What quality microphone do I need? You know, all the granular details of that. I'm also the content guy. So all those PDFs I was talking about, you know, I've got a family member struggling with addiction. What do I do? I create all of those. I also write, we just did a website rollout last March. We completely gutted, overhauled the look, everything about our website. I was peripherally involved with the look of it. I was the content guy for all of it. So everything on our website, I wrote every word. We're doing a couple little updates. You know, websites are always evolving. We have a new brand book that we just created. That's another thing I'm working on. But we figured out, you know, we're a young company, so we didn't have that. So it's who are we, mission, vision, values, the history, and, you know, all of our fonts. You know, what size are those? What are our colors? What are our tertiary colors? And our brand voice. How do we sound when we're talking externally? How do we sound when we're talking internally? The tone of it. So I'm going to go through the website. It's a project for Q4 that I'm working on to kind of incorporate the brand voice into what we do. I was trained in the JMP department, so my writing is naturally sterile. Clean, you know, it's like how a reporter would write. There's no opinion. I try to have no opinion and, you know, no feeling. When we were writing press releases for tech companies, you know, it's not very touchy-feely writing. There's very little heart in it. So I'm going back through the website and kind of adding a little bit more heart and human elements to the sterile writing, as my boss calls it. So like, it's totally obvious you were PR before this, because it's just, there's no heart in it whatsoever, but I'm working on it. You know, my blog, I write blogs for the website too. I've been learning how to write SEO optimized blogs, which has been quite the process. I registered online for Corsica. They have some free, or they're not free. They do have some free classes. The ones I have are not free. It's like $50 a month. And it's like a slimmed down university class of how to write search engine optimized blogs. And the keyword research behind that, we're currently paying about $7 grand a month to our SEO company to write 10 blogs, and that includes some website work too, but it's really expensive. They do a great job. Since we started doing that right before I came on board, we were getting about 20,000 clicks a month to our website, you know, unique sessions. We had 192,000 last month. And that is 100% because of the on-page SEO and those blogs. There's one, if I drink a bottle of wine every day, am I an alcoholic? And that gets about 70,000 clicks a month. That one blog that, you know, we found the right keywords and it just brings tons of people to our website. Are all those people looking for addiction help? Are all those people in Colorado? Nope. But, you know, I see the admits and where they came from every week, and they landed on the page looking for a blog, or they found a Google local listing, and then they filled out a contact form, and then our admissions team got in touch with them. I'd say about 60% of the admits that we get are directly from our marketing efforts. What else? I do mass emails, blast emails to our referral partners. On a semi-regular basis, we're kind of reevaluating with Constant Contact. They show up in spam filters, so we're kind of figuring out a way how that can actually get into people's email boxes. There are a couple of different platforms. Yesware, it would be more informal from our from our outreach team. It wouldn't show up in the blast, spam warning on it and end up in spam folders. But those are sort of promotional. I try and work in some useful content too. Since I'm doing news scans, I get a million Google alerts every day with ads or not ads, but articles, what's going on in the addiction space from all over the country. If I find something useful and relevant, I work those in there as well. I find a different treatment center to highlight in there every month. In Colorado, we're kind of unique in the treatment space, the addiction treatment space. We're very collaborative. There are enough people struggling for everyone. We can all help people. Sure, we're competitors, but we share clients. Someone might not be a good fit for us. We're an outpatient only center. Someone might need a detox facility or an inpatient residential 30-day program, which we don't do. So we'll send them up to Harmony and Estes Park with an agreement. Hey, when they step down their level of care, will you send them back to us? And we do that all the time with people. So I reach out to their marketing team if they have one. We're kind of unique in the space that there's virtually no digital marketing done in the treatment community in Colorado. We're virtually the only folks doing it. You see Google ads, and that's about it. No SEO, no drip email campaigns. Lost my train of thought. Steve, what was it talking about before that? The email. So I highlight one of the companies. Make these useful. If I'm gonna send something to someone's email box, I want them to actually, I don't want it to be spammy. I want them to find some use out of it, which, it's kind of rare in the marketing space, at least in the treatment, to find something useful. Usually it's just garbage. Hey, we have, maybe an event going on isn't garbage, but like if you're gonna click, I'm gonna put something in there that you want to read to. But that's in a nutshell my day-to-day.
It's definitely a jack of all trades. I have a couple of questions, but first I want to just make sure, are there any questions from the students? I'll give them a first shot.
Ask me anything you want about school, anything.
Is it a pretty big company that you work with? Like how many, I would say how many coworkers do you have, or is there different departments?
There are. So the entire company, if you include, we have some clinicians who are contractors who aren't on staff technically, they don't get the full HR welcome. 54, mid-50s, I believe. On my team, it's pretty small. It's I'm part of the MOA team, so it's marketing, admissions, outreach, and the alumni program. So it's just me and Megan on the marketing side of things. We're, pretty busy, but we're debating whether or not we want to hire somebody else to come help us. We will definitely be looking for an intern for the winter semester. I'm getting in touch with the career services guys to see if we can get one of those as well. We're looking for someone with some writing chops, maybe some social media, video experience. So JMP immediately came to mind.
Excellent. We'll definitely help you get the word out when it's time. One question I had is, and I'm sure that it's also kind of percolating in the student's mind, is you said you had 3 internships while you were in college. Can you talk a little bit about how you got them and how you were able to work that into your busy student schedule?
Yeah, the first one was for Slow Food Denver. They're a local foodie organization. They were looking for a social media intern, and it was my first one, so I was ready to accept, pretty much anything. I found it was either online, I'm forgetting the name of the database that you guys have, or it was both posted on that wall in the JMP department. I saw it on there and I sent in an email and said, hey, here's my story. I'm definitely interested in your internship program. And they called me back. It was an interview that I was very, very overdressed for, but I talked to my boss, and I wore the full suit. Probably could have got away with just a dress shirt and slacks. But yeah, it was pretty easy. Your social media internships, I don't think it's that difficult, with a local organization. I mean, if you're looking at, Lockheed Martin or Aero Technologies, it's definitely going to be a bit more competitive, but you can definitely find one at a smaller organization. The strategy there, Mark Eisenberg, who's not with MSU Denver anymore, recommended a nonprofit, a PR agency, and in-house. So I would get a nice, well-rounded view of the options out there. The second one was Steve was my boss. I was a social media intern for the journalism department and learned a ton about social media there, much more actually than I did at the one over the summer. And then the third one was a PR agency. That one I actually found on my own. I had applied to a couple and gotten one call back, and I actually had, it was a really good internship. Her name's escaping me. She's good friends with Michelle. She was the chair of the PRSA in Colorado for a little bit. You know who I'm talking about, Steve?
It was a Jane Dvorak?
Yes. I actually got that internship, but I had applied. Michelle told me to reach out to Matter Communications in Boulder. It was near me and in a reputable place. And I actually got both internships. And I was just using the Matter one as interview practice. I already had a good internship lined up, but ended up actually taking that one and declining Jane's offer. And that one was a crash course in PR. I learned an insane amount at the agency.
Well, good.
Do your internships.
Yes, definitely. That's a great message. The other thing I heard in your really broad spectrum of things that you do on a day-to-day basis is that it sounds like you're using every darn thing that we talked about in classes. I'm sorry that we've squeezed all the heart out of your writing, but that's something I think we need to work on. I've actually had conversations with students about, we don't want to squeeze the heart out of your writing, but we spend so much time on the nuts and bolts that we sometimes don't let you cut loose. So thanks for that feedback.
It wasn't just you. I also I worked for the campus paper, as a mini reporter for a little bit too, and they will definitely squeeze a little hard out of your writing.
All right. Well, thanks again for the time you spent with just one last chance for the students. Any other questions?
Okay. I've got no filter, so you can ask whatever you want, and I'll give you an honest assessment.
All right, we'll let you go, Steve. And thanks again for your time. Really appreciate seeing you again. And have a good rest of your day.